guys. Lovely
Hello.
to see you. You should be a bit demob happy because I think I'm your last interview.
Okay.
It's very exciting for you.
Perk up.
Now, when I said I was going to see The Avengers, I don't think I've ever had so much excitement in the office. Everyone loves it. Why is this? Why is it something that everybody loves?
Gosh, why do you think? I mean, it's a lot of tech and superhero suits and capes and explosions.
I think you're just used to sometimes. It's the kind of movie that you go because your kids want to go, and you're bored stiff.
Unless
Unless it actually is just kind of a good movie that's thoughtful and doesn't just kind of tread the same old water, you know.
Yeah, I guess it's really they're just so much fun, these films. It's almost like you don't have to have any kind of preconceived intellectual qualification to enjoy it. You just have to be alive to fun and have a sense of humor and a pair of eyes that are delighted by spectacle. And it really is, you know, you know, these kinds of films are really why I became an actor. Of course, when I grew up and your taste develops, you fall in love with things like Shakespeare and Chekhov and Michael Haneke films, which are intense and dark and strange. But I first saw Christopher Reeve play Superman. And,
Never forget it.
Never forget it. And it's an amazing feeling when there's just, I think in every grown human being is a kid, basically. And so it appeals to the kid in all of us.
Definitely. You had some great fight scenes together, you two. Did you accidentally smack each other in the face? And
I remember you telling me to squeeze harder. I was like, it's all right.
And then we were shooting the next day. Yeah, but he's like that too. I mean, you want to go for it. I think Tom and the Chris's and Scarlett and Jeremy really, really were out there in the trenches. For me, once the helmet closes, I'm back in L.A.
Because you can't really fly through the air.
Not just yet, no.
It's a shame, I know.
you're certainly working on it.
But it's weird though, because you have to go for it, but you can't actually hurt each other. So it's a strange little dance that you do. It's all like a dance, isn't it, basically?
Yes, we're just dancers. Just dancing.
You had some fantastic lines, Robert. You mean some of your lines made me laugh so much. Was any of it sort of off the cuff? You just thought, random, fantastically, this has just come to me?
I think so. I just gotten so used in the last 5 years to kind of co-writing word for word whatever I'd done. But Joss would just go write 3 pages of options, and it was kind of like he just did all the work writing wise. So I forget whose stuff was his. I'm glad it worked.
Rock of Ages, was that? Did you come up with Rock of Ages?
I didn't even know what Rock of Ages was when he said it. I realized afterwards what the reference was.
Right.
Yeah, I like Point Break for Thor. Was kind of good too.
Yeah.
What do we call you? Reindeer Games?
Reindeer Games.
Not bad.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Fantastic. I guess, obviously, when you said when the helmet was down, it wasn't necessarily always you, but I understand that you had a bit of a hard time with the heat in your costume. Is that right?
It's a very, it's 30 pounds of leather and metal, so it's like wearing it's like wearing a diving bell in the New Mexico desert.
And having to dance like a butterfly.
That's right. It gets very hot in there, for sure. It's particularly when I have the helmet on. It's like wearing a ski hat in the summer. The question is why.
Did you develop coping mechanisms? Did you mist him with water every so often?
How do any actors really cope? You know, we don't cope.
Yeah, we just can't. It's impossible to cope with the privilege of playing superheroes. Yeah.
I think the way you cope is you get these great infusions, like days like today, where you're saying that the gals at the office and everyone's excited. It's like you remember why you've spent all those months laboring. It's for an effect. You know, in theater you get it right in the moment, and here it's this extremely delayed gratification. So
it was also huge fun. I mean, we had such a good time making it, because it's quite releasing to play characters like this. You have to try and infuse them with humanity and psychological depth and make it real. But it's also, you get to. I spend a whole day attached to a wire, flying around a satellite testing facility owned by NASA in Ohio, like an acrobat. I was strung up, and I mean, this is the most famous and most specific satellite testing facility in the world. So any satellite that's spinning around the Earth is tested in this chamber, and they turned it into my own personal circus for a day.
Your 10-year-old selves would be so proud.
Yeah.
My 31-year-old self is equally proud.